lifting the spirit through humor. Ah, I love it. Humor. We all know humor is so important. Let me read something that I wrote. This is back, let's see. Louise's latest musings. I was an editor in our library district. I guess I did a newsletter. I guess this was in, I wrote this in 2002. It seems to dwell on lamenting what I can no longer do. Instead, I strive to harness my energy, to accept my limitations, and redirect my strengths and talents into other channels. Sure, it's hard to be thrown into disability and lose touch with a crucial sense of my identity, which was teaching and also singing and performing. But let's not forget, using the euphemism again, stuff happens when you're in the process of making other plans. The importance of humor cannot be overemphasized. The idea is highlighted in Norman Cousins' classic, The Anatomy of an Illness. It is also reinforced in Thoughts While Dying Without a Deadline. Time is very much alive. An article by Dale O'Reilly, who is afflicted with ALS. She writes, "Unfortunately, once other people know you're dying, they think they have to say things like, I'm so sorry, when what you really wish they would do is tell you a good joke." I like that. And I guess I've got to participate in this, let me tell you. About 3 months ago, I went to a new dentist, and I was in the waiting room, and I noticed the dentist's full name, Jack Hirschberg, DDS. And that name rang a bell, and I realized, wow, I graduated from high school with someone by the name of Jack Hirschberg. But, you know, that was a few years ago. I mean, I don't even want to tell you how many years ago that was. And besides, that was also in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, where I was brought up. Right, and it couldn't be the same. So anyway, soon the dentist walked out, and when I saw him, I said to myself, no way. I mean, this guy is old. I mean, this guy is old. I mean, he couldn't have been in my class. No. I mean, yeah, the works. Massive wrinkles, jowls, big pot belly. Couldn't be in my class. So we went, got in the examination room, and we got to talking. And I soon realized, lo and behold, we went to the same high school. And it was Jack Hirschberg. So I said to him, "You were in my class." And he looked at me more closely, and he said, "Really? What did you teach?" Anyway, well, what can I say? Moving on. The Serenity Prayer. The words are in your service. The Serenity Prayer. I think many of you are familiar with this. I think it's one of the most beautiful prayers. And please grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, wisdom to know the difference. I had to put this to music, and I'm going to share it with you, and let's see we can do with it. Please grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I'm going to sing this a couple of times to get the feeling for it and sing along with me. Please grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Please grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Please grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Let's whisper that. Please grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now normal voice last time. Please grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Okay. I was very inspired by Linda Noble Toff, that's T-O-P-F, the words that she had to say in a book she wrote, "You are not your illness." And she writes, "When we open up to our negative feelings, sadness, fear, anger, and acknowledge the emotional loss and pain, we begin the process of self-acceptance. The inner healing comes not in our denial, but in our surrendering to the truth, to life as it is." She makes the distinction between being healed and being cured. We don't want to lose hope for a cure. That would be very nice. They're always talking about a cure for this or that. The cure for MS is just around the corner. Yes, keep that hope high, but don't dwell on it. What's more important is not so much the cure, although that would be great. What's more important is the healing process. On a similar note, I was inspired by words from Susan Freund, who is a director of the MS Association in New Jersey. She writes, "What happens when we accept our circumstances? A softening in the soul occurs, bringing with it relief and release. We relax. Next, our energy pattern changes. Acceptance illuminates reality, so we are able to see the next step." That made a lot of sense.